talk to me how you managed to work in different jurisdictions. Because there was the factory in Malaysia where all of this was being assembled, and there were shipping routes going everywhere, which eventually culminated in you actually stopping a freighter which had nuclear centrifuges heading towards Libya. How did you manage to do that?
It takes talent and a lot of attention and a dedicated team. I had a dedicated team of people working for me.
Hmm.
At no time did we have more than 10 people working, at CIA headquarters, devoted entirely to that. We had some people overseas, very brave officers overseas working. I had the cooperation of a lot of people in the Middle East, from
Hmm.
our agency officers and things like that. And this was all I was doing. This was
Right.
100% of what I was doing. It's unlike a lot of people, maybe yourself. If you are given a lot of things to do, but if they gave you just one thing to do, you could really focus on that and do it really well. And that's what we did. We were focused only on that, and we were allowed whatever resources we needed to stop this. This was right before 9/11. And then
Yes.
after 9/11 happened, then we had to ratchet up the tempo considerably because you may recall Libya was considered to be a state sponsor of terrorism.
Yep.
And it was not a big leap of the imagination to think, what if Muammar Gaddafi gets nuclear weapons? What is he going to do with them?
Hmm.
It turned out that Gaddafi had no real relations with Al Qaeda, but
Hmm.
it was a scary, scary thing that caused a lot of people here in Washington and people in other countries to be very nervous. And so we had to ratchet up the tempo.
Yeah, and you were also see this network essentially supplied nuclear materials to Iran, to Libya, and to North Korea. North Korea being the one with actual functional nuclear weapons now. So
Right.
now again, I'm circling back over here. I know that I'm an Indian presenter, Indian journalist over here. I have my inherent biases when we talk about Pakistan, but I got to ask you, it wouldn't it be naive to think that Pakistani retired generals are flying uranium hexafluoride to North Korea in exchange for ballistic missile technology is not a government to government deal or
Well, that part probably was. The one I really focused on was the Libyan angle. I didn't focus as much on the North Korean angle. Let me put it this way, we had our tentacles much more into the Libyan aspect of the program, a little less so in the Iranian aspect.
hmm,
And and suddenly in fact, you may recall, I said my initial focus was Iran, and then it was on the Khan
yep,
network. Well, guess who came calling on us after a while, after the Con network came calling on us? Suddenly, we had two different, absolutely distinct nuclear weapons programs in touch with us. And so I only had so much attention. I had to just, we didn't have the coverage on the North Korean aspect of it, I guess I could say. We had some, but I could only do what I could do.
in an operation like that, is it really that siloed? Because it is the same principle, right? It's AQ Khan, and you know that his tentacles are in these countries, but you're only siloed off for Iran and the Libyan angle, not the North Korean. Would someone else be taking care of that?
I would hope so, but I don't think the North Korean target is very difficult. In fact, I won't say, I hesitate to call North Korea a hard target. What they are is hard access.
Yes.
I think any country's nationals are recruitable given the right stress, given the right approach, given the right access that we have to them. But in the North Korean case, it's very difficult to get that access, and therefore our penetration of North Korean networks has always been rather marginal.